Today we are going to discuss about unit number 2, advanced structural modeling. In the unit number 2, today we are going to be covered what is the concept of object-oriented diagram and what are the different kind of modeling techniques are available, and then what are the different kind of class and object and what are different diagrams are available. All these topics that we will cover one by one in this lecture video. And first of all, we want to discuss about what is mean by a modeling object structure. So first, identify the function or behavior or a part of system you want to model as a collection of classes, interfaces, and other things. And each in function or the mechanism identify the classes and interfaces that going to be collaborate and also going to be identify the relationship between the two different kind of a function. And consider the scenario, uh, walk through this mechanism and freeze at the moment in a time and identify the participating the objects. So this is one basic scenarios that they are taking for a modeling of an object structure and represents the state of object by listing out the attributes and their value and represents the links between objects and which are instance of an association. So this complete modeling of the structure will going to be divide uh, various kind of scenarios. And object diagram. So before going to this object diagram, I just want to convey some modeling techniques are available that will going to be helpful to study in detail about all these different kind of diagrams. So now I just tell you what different kind of techniques are available for your modeling. So there are entity relationship modeling techniques, that is ER diagram, that we will call in our subject. So one of ER diagram will going to be represent in detail about the particular problem statement. We will give you the whole scenarios at each different level of an architecture diagram. So there is a ER diagram will have different kind of a component. That component will going to be communicate between two different kind of an objects, and it will going to be relate between the relationship between two different kind of an objects. So that will going to be helpful to understand and plot at a proper manner by using of user expectation point of view. And coming to the second technique, interaction diagram. So what is the interaction diagram? So the interaction diagram will going to be discussed between your object interaction. So object interaction that will going to be discussed about in detail by the author of Jacobson. So this is other techniques that we will going to be apply in our modeling techniques. And then next one, ERD notation, that is entity relationship data notation. So in the ER diagram, what are the different kind of components which is available, same thing, but here we are going to be using a specific notations to build in detail about how this particular diagram will going to be tell. And next one, OMT. So OMT object model, so object modeling technique, so that is what we are calling as an OMT. And then last one, the Booch method. So Booch method is we can calling as a Grady Booch infamous cloud. So these particular modeling techniques which are going to be useful to design a particular problem statement, and that will going to convert into a useful information by met the user expectation at the end of the development. And the last one, UML. So this is other modeling techniques which we are going to discussing in detail about it. So the merger of Booch, Rahmbach, and Jacobson. So these three persons will going to be divide. They're going to be the idea is going to be bring into that concept, and they are designed and they are releasing the market by supporting by the industry, and they are making a software version, and what are the concepts that they are implemented. So that will be very beneficial for the those who are using this UML concept. And now coming to this, under the UML, the object diagram will going to be covered over there. So I think object diagram that we discussed in detail about in the last class. But anyway, I will recall all these basic points because this will also going to be covered modeling technique, one of the modeling techniques. So UML is one of the modeling techniques. Under the subcategory is in one of the object diagram. So the object diagram is also going to be referred to as a screenshot of the instances in a particular system and the relationship that going to be exist between them. Since the object diagram depicts the behavior when the objects have been initiated, and we are able to study the behavior of the system at the particular instant. An object diagram is always a vital to understand the functional requirement of the particular system. So UML, that is a Unified Model Language, is one of the diagram that shows a complete or the partial view of the structure of the particular specific time. And what is the difference between object and a class diagram? So we already discussed what is my class diagram. So that the three different portions are going to be covered, and the first portion part is a class name, second portion is part of attribute, and third portion is always function and methods, and fourth portion is also optional for the component representation. So now what is the difference between this object and your class diagram? So an object diagram is similar to a class diagram, except it shows the instance of the class in the system. So instance of the class, it means by that if you want to create an instant moment, maybe I'm doing a transaction, so I'm just giving a cash, or I can go for by initiating by a debit card or a credit card. So that time I'm creating an instance of one object. So using my bank, through the bank I'm just paying to the merchant. So this is an instance of creating an object. So that's a situation the object should want to be created instant moment. So at this moment we can able to use this object diagram as wherever it is required in your particular software development life cycle. And other example, we demonstrate that the actual classifiers and the relationships are making the use of the class diagram. And other hand, an object diagram represents a specific instances of the particular class and relationships between them at the point of time. Now what is classifier? So the classifier which is going to be giving in detail about how the particular object diagrams and the particular class diagrams are going to be giving in detail about it. So the object diagram where we can use real world examples. So to a particular depth the nature and the structure of the particular system at a particular point in a time, since we are unable to use the data available within the particular objects, and where the object diagram provide a clear view of the relationship that will going to be exist between your objects. So let them take an example, a bank account and then account. So in the bank account, I'm just declaring as a one class diagram. What are different classifiers are there? Let them take an example. Uh, a bank account can have a attribute balance, account, validated date, and then customer ID, customer account number, branch name, location, address. All these things will comes under your bank account of the particular person. And what the bank account will do? We can go for withdraw, we can show a balance, or we can going to be making a initiating the transaction, right? So there are n number of functions also available for your bank account of class diagram. Now coming to this account one, in the account number one, what are the things will come? This is actually the instance of creation. So I'm just want to know about my balance. So that time the particular bank account is going to be creating one object, that is a account number one, which is the bank account is there, and they are creating a balance for to check, and for balance is they are showing them how much money is there, and then account validity till, so at how much date it will have, so that also going to be telling in detail about here, right? So we already discussed about what is this plus symbol and what is the minus symbol, what is the meaning of the hash symbol, right? So I think you may recall all these points over here. Now coming to the notation, what are the different notations used in the object diagram? I told you very clear the object diagrams and the class diagrams are both are similar. right? So now we will conclude that here the object diagram will always going to be represented in the rectangular box, and they always can be divided into two different kind of portions. The first portion always they will indicate it as a classifier name, that is a object name they will going to be declared in the first portion, and the second portion onwards if they want to declare the attribute or if they want to declare any kind of an operation, that they will include over here, right? But in the case of class diagram, minimum we will divide into three different kind of portion. The first portion is a class name, second portion is an attribute, and the third portion is a function, right? So now coming to here, how the notations are going to be used. So whenever we are going to be initiate a classifier in a particular system, the objects we create and represent an entity which exists in the system, and we can represent the changes in object over time by creating multiple instances of specification, and we use always to represent an object in an object diagram. An object is generally linked to the other object in an object diagram. So where to use this object diagram? This is other very important parameter. Where to use? So object diagrams can be imagined that the snapshot of a running system at a particular moment. So let them consider an example of running train. So whenever we are going to be running a train, there are a number of things are going to be getting created, new things over there. If you take a snap of the running train, then you will find a static picture, right? And it having like the two things are will be there, a particular state which is running and a particular number of passengers which will change if the snap is taken in a different time. So this is a very good example that we can going to be apply where to use the particular object diagram. And how to draw an object diagram. To capture a particular system, the number of class diagrams are always limited. And however, if we are going to be consider an object diagram, then we can have an unlimited number of instances and which are unique in nature. Only those instances are going to be considered which we have an impact on the particular system. And first of all, we have to be analysis the system and decide which instances have important data and association for that. And second one, consider the particular those instances and which will going to be cover the whole functionality of the particular problem. And the third one, make some optimization as the number of instances are unlimitedly created, right? So this is a way how that the object diagram is going to be represented in your UML diagram. And coming to here, what are the different notations are going to be used? So this is a one kind of notation. We will tell this particular topic name as a multiplicity. So multiplicity, whenever we are making any communication between the two different kind of an object or two different kind of a class diagram, we have to be mention the multiplicity concept. So how many times this communication will get happen, either one to one or many to one, right? Or many to one or one to many. So there are different kind of multiplicity concept will be there. For example, I will say let them have a communication between the employee and the customer. So particular organization employee, they are going to communicate to the customer. So what they will do, one employee, they may be communicated to n number of customer. So one to many. Sometimes the situation when we have a call center, in the particular call center, the particular employee can have to communicate to a many customer. So one customer can communicate to many employee. So there is a vice versa, the communication of multiplicities get changed. And some other situation, doctor and patient. So there is a one-to-one communication. One doctor and only one patient will be there. So one-to-one communication will be get held over there. So that depends upon situation. The communications of multiplicity will get changed and vary. So that particular situation you may use which is suitable, and that particular thing you may mention. If you want to communicate between one to one, then both edge of the communication you can mention one at the left hand side and right hand side edge you can mention 1. It means by that one-to-one communication. So doctor is one class and patient is another class. So in between you are making communication as a association and dependency, but the both edge you have to mention 1-to-1. And coming to the other kind of object diagram or class diagram, you may have a two different edge, both side, right hand side, left hand side. Then you may have many to many, star to star. So you can mention star at one edge and star to other edge. So that will going to be helpful to cover at whole things, right? And notations used in your object diagram. So here there are static designs also there, and structural system is also there, and this will going to be create an instance of your real data, and it always going to be help us to understand the functionality that the system should deliver to the users or not, understand the relationship between your objects, and visualize, document, and constrain and design a static frame that will going to be show your instance of object and the relationship in the particular dynamic story of the life of system. Let them take an example. This is your object diagram. So this object diagram, there I told you very clear, there are two complete portion will be there in a rectangular box. So this is the object diagram for to order a management system. So customer will be there, order will be there, order number 1, 2, 3, 4, and n number order will be there. Until there are specific order will be there, S1, S2, S1 till n number of specific order will be there. So order management, it is not going to be in a static manner. This is a dynamic, and instantly they will maybe create an order by the customer. So you cannot think about that there is a today 10 order have to be delivered. No, that is an instance of an object will be created by the customer. So based upon that you have to be reacted. So that time how will going to be react. So this is a diagram which is represented how the order management is being communicated to the customer. So this order number 1, 2, 3 as well as specific order 1, 2, SN. So this all the things are going to be communicated to the whole in charge of the particular management, and all these things have a strong communication, that is a association communication should be there, because the customer and the order are always going to be in a strong communication, because the particular order only is going to be delivered to the particular customer. There is no dependency or there is no generalization will play over here. So association will play over here. And this is an example of your class diagram, the same scenario. There is a customer and there is a company and person. So the customer who is whoever in the particular ordering system, the company and person who is going to be working at there, though they will going to be communicate, the relationship will be generalization. So what are the customer that they are following, that information is going to be applied by the company as well as the person, and the customer only is going to be giving a order, and the order should be always composition with the item. So what are the item that they are displayed by the particular company, the particular order only they will going to be ordered, and the order may be create, the order may be cancel, and the product which the product is there, the particular product is always going to be taking an attribute as well as a function. So the function is always mentioned by the open and close bracket, and the attribute is always mentioned by your data type, and the communication is get held between the two different classes, or either it may be association, or either it may be a generalization, or either it may be an aggregation or composition or dependency. But every place that we are mentioning either multiplicity concept, one to one, one to many, many to one, right? So one customer can order many order, and one order can contain many items. So just have a look at over here. So this is a very important information, that how many things that a particular order can make done by one single customer, right? So this is a complete class diagram is given by your UML. So that will going to be giving in detail about how your the problem statement is going to be converted into a proper software development to meet your customer expectation. And this is other class diagram. This is medical system. how the diagnosis is going to be done, and as well as the treatment, and as well as your article, and as well as your form, as well as your question form, discussion form, and common health information. So this all these things are going to be as in a class diagram and attribute, and as well as a function name, right? So association is going to be used, and generalization is going to be applied. Multiplicity concept that we are using, association we are going to be using over here, right? So all the particular class diagrams are going to be used over here, right? The next topic is modeling object structure. Identify the mechanism you would like to model, and then a mechanism that you're going to be represent some kind of function or the behavior or a method in the part of the system, in that you can able to modeling that the result from the interaction of the society of the classes or interfaces or other things. So this will going to be bring into the modeling of an object structure and create a collaboration to describe a mechanism. So if you want to use an efficient modeling techniques, then obviously you supposed to be do a collaboration to your describe of your complete mechanism. So that will going to be helpful for to communicate between most of the object to another object. And for each mechanism you have to be identify the class, and after identifying the class you supposed to be identify what kind of relationship that it is suitable for to communicate between a two different kind of classes or two different kind of objects, and other elements that it is going to be participate in this collaboration, and identifying the relationship among all the communication, as well as to provide an efficient, we have to use a multiplicity concept, and we have to use either association or dependency or generalization or aggregation or composition. So this is the major communication that will going to be get happen in between your two different kind of classes or two different kind of objects. So this is a relationship, that the relationship is going to be very useful in your modeling and objects of structures. And coming to this, in the UML diagram and the modeling techniques, the forward and reverse engineering. So this is a two important parameter that will going to be play a major role. So what is maybe forward engineering? So forward engineering is an object diagram is theoretically possible, but uh, pragmatically of limited value. In object-oriented system, when you are going to be creating instance of anything that is created and destroyed by the application, and during of this runtime, you cannot exactly initiate that these objects from your outside. So I will tell you it very clear in detail about how this forward engineering will going to be applied in your UML diagram. So what they're telling at here, this is a creation of code from the model. So what is the meaning of this creation of code from the model? You can take a diagrammatic of your class diagram, that you know very well that the class diagram is consist of three different kind of portion, and more than one or two or three five class diagram may be there in your class. So you may use rational row software or agro UML or any other kind of a software which will going to be draw an easy manner or to plot all the picture representation. After that, that information is going to be taken considered, and you are going to be generate a skeleton code. So the skeleton code that we are calling as a creation of the code, that skeleton code you can download by using any kind of an languages. For example, the developer need a Java language, obviously you can generate a skeleton code from your diagram to and code. And if you want to convert a C++ code, then your class diagram is going to be converted into a C++ code. So which language that you want, XML or HTML or Python or Java, so whatever the language that you want to implement as a skeleton code, that skeleton code you can generate from your class diagram. So this is a scenario that we are calling as a forward engineering, right? Now coming to this next, reverse engineering. So what is mean by this reverse engineering? Now you are implemented the skeleton code, right? So after implementing the skeleton code, that the skeleton code is getting generated from your pictorial representation of your class diagram, right? So this pictorial representation, after implementing the skeleton code, now the developer are going to be changing some parameters, or changing the data types, or adding some functions over there. So now if you want to do the reverse process after changing this coding part in the skeleton code, it will get automatically reflect in your diagrammatic. So this particular process that we are calling as a reverse engineering. So this is actually a possibility when we have to download the template, that the skeleton code. After that, you have to be changed the as per the requirement of the customer need. Then after that, you have to upload the particular skeleton code into your rational row software. Then the rational software will going to be process it, and it will identify that where the modifications are, where the changes or corrections are get held, and exact that location the particular diagram will going to be modified it. So this is a process of your reverse engineering. So let us look at what at here they are saying. A reverse engineering, the creation of a model from the code, that I told you already very clear. This process is going to be starting work from your code. An object diagram can be useful. In fact, while you are debugging your system, this is something that you or your tool will do all the times. And for example, if you are chasing down a dangling link, then you will want to literally or mentally draw an object diagram of the affected objects to see where at a given moment in a time an object states or the relationships to other object is getting broken. So this is a very important parameters that they are saying in UML concept. So forward engineering and reverse engineering will play a vital role to generate your skeleton code. And after even generating the skeleton code, if you want to make any changes in the diagrammatic, then that particular diagrammatic will also going to be reflect in the diagrammatic automatically. So no need to change at the designer part. So after changing the skeleton code, so this is a very good of the process once they are forwarding and as well as the reverse. So this is an engineering that is a forward and reverse engineering is one of the modeling of the techniques which is going to be most useful in your IT industry, right? So these are the references. You may go through it if you want to get more detail about what is a reverse engineering, what is a forward engineering, and how they are doing all these things, modeling techniques, what are the object diagrams are there, class diagrams are there. So if you want to get more detail about, then this is a three different authors that I told you already, Rahamberg, and then Jacobson and Booch. So these are three authors that they are started from the base. So if you are referencing by this particular book, you will get a lot of idea that how they are implementing all the different ideas for different kind of problem statement to how they are giving a solution, right? And this is my contact information. If you want to know more information, then obviously you can mail me so that I will touch with you all, so I can able to forward the solution for you. Take any kind of information, the same some kind of a problem statement, that the problem statement will going to be converted into the diagrammatic, then the diagrammatic will going to be converted into skeleton code. Now the skeleton code will going to be given to your implementation part. So this is a whole process that they are doing in your object modeling techniques, right? So thank you all, my dear student. Thank you for joining at this session. Thank you very much.